Michael Elgin.
Fuck Michael Elgin! Fuck it! Fuck Michael Elgin!
That's right, fuck Michael Elgin. This is Strong Honor. Welcome to the show. Yep, we're going to be talking New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're going to be talking Ring of Honor. And yes, unfortunately, we're going to talk a little bit of Michael Elgin. Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Tommy Stryker, host of the show. And yes, Michael Elgin. Last week talked about it a little bit. It was just starting to come out, all the news of what had happened or the situation with Michael Elgin. If you haven't heard, I will wrap it up rather shortly. Basically, back in the spring, a fan of Michael Elgin's promotion, Glory Pro, a female fan, reported to Michael Elgin that one of the wrestlers that wrestles for his promotion, a guy that he trained, attempted to rape her. Sexual assault we're talking here. Not Michael Elgin himself, but one of his wrestlers. Michael Elgin chose to do nothing about it. The wrestler made excuses, talked about how he thought that they were in some sort of relationship. Being in a relationship does not excuse sexual assault. It does not excuse attempted rape. And so Michael Elgin let this go on and on for months and months, finally decided not to book that wrestler anymore back in October, I want to say. And then things started coming out on Twitter last week. The woman in question had been releasing direct messages from Twitter and text messages, I believe. And the conversations were pretty gross. Michael Elgin just kind of referring to her in a non-human way, basically treating her like garbage, treating her like treating her in an old school way, basically, that the old ring rat terminology or not terminology, but mentality rather. He kind of took that attitude towards her and basically put the blame. He blamed the victim in this whole thing the whole time, basically. And so Michael Elgin has while not being guilty himself of any kind of sexual assault or rape or attempted rape, he certainly it was one of the boys when it came to covering up or not doing something about not taking the right action, and then being really gross about it on a direct message to the victim directly. It seemed like he was trying to cultivate some sort of relationship with this victim throughout the thing. The whole thing is disgusting. Now, can Michael Elgin ever come back from this? I don't fucking know. Here's the thing is like last week when I talked about it, like I said, it was just coming out. I didn't know how to feel because Michael Elgin is a guy over the last couple of years who's really grown on me. I loved his wrestling this last year. When I saw Michael Elgin in Chicago, I bought his fucking t-shirt. I don't even like his t-shirt, but I was like, this guy's so cool. I'm going to give him $20 and buy a t-shirt. I've worn the damn thing once, and now I'm contemplating doing a Periscope where I burn the goddamn thing. Here's the thing. Michael Elgin can come back if he takes all kinds of right steps, rights all of the wrongs with the victim, and the victim is on his side. I don't know what he's got to do that. Maybe there's nothing he can do that could do that because the victim has said that she is afraid of Michael Elgin. So, and the other thing I don't understand is both parties continuing to talk to each other, and not that I'm being overly critical here because I'm not in the victim's head, but in Michael Elgin's case, like, why would he continue talking to anybody who is in a position that could, fuck up his career or whatever? So I don't know. The whole thing, the whole thing is ridiculous, ugly, disgusting, and like I said,
Fuck him! Fuck Michael Elgin!
So that coming out of the World Tag League, of course, the voice of Ray Rowe right there. That's all I really wanted to say on the Michael Elgin thing is he's got a long road ahead of him to come back into favor in this fan's eyes. Again, I am a fan. This podcast is about my and other fans' opinions on professional wrestling and wrestlers, specifically of New Japan and Ring of Honor. So, being that this is about my opinion, it doesn't matter what the facts are. I just don't like Michael Elgin anymore for acting this way. So, if he wants to get back in the good graces of me and a lot of other fans, he's got a lot of work to do to get back in the good graces of all of the fans. So, that's all I really wanted to say on that, because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about this week regarding New Japan, the end of the World Tag League. I enjoyed both the two finals for the A block, and the B block. And the finals overall were a good show, of course. The big news, kind of burying the lead here, Chris Jericho attacking Kenny Omega after his six-man match with the Elite, with the Young Bucks nowhere to be found. It was very frustrating. We'll get to that. And then Omega's retaliation at the Wrestle Kingdom press conference the next day. We got to talk about that. Final Battle is coming up on Friday. We'll preview that, get into some predictions possibly for that, and all of it. Let's start with New Japan this week. Going back to the A block finals. A block. So yeah, I've already played this "Fuck Michael Elgin" soundbite.
Fuck Michael Elgin!
And where that came from was the A block final show. The undercard for that had War Machine teaming up with Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin. What's funny, one of the things that came out in this Elgin scandal, him texting this woman in question or whatever. Why am I saying woman in question? I don't. It feels wrong to say that, but this victim anyway. He was talking shit about Jeff Cobb hanging out with. All he does is hang out with War Machine, and these tweets came out. Everybody's hanging out with War Machine, and everybody was tweeting pictures of them, fans or whatever, hanging out with, taking pictures with War Machine. And I did one where I photoshopped my head into a drawing of War Machine that they tweeted out, and that's the background for my Twitter right now, at Tommy Stryker. But anyway, getting back to this match, basically at the beginning of the match, Elgin snubs War Machine because they're going to have a match coming up between War Machine and Cobb and Elgin. That's the next night at the B Block Finals. So Elgin was kind of snubbing them in this match. War Machine does end up getting the win, and then after the match, that's when they're like, oh, fuck this guy.
Fuck him! Fuck Michael Elgin!
So they kind of worked whatever this Twitter drama that was going on into the story of the match. It's very odd, by the way, watching Michael Elgin, who I now don't enjoy watching, in there interacting with guys that I very much do enjoy watching, like War Machine and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb has finally started to look really good in this tournament, and looked really good finally on the final day. We'll get to that kind of as we move along through these last couple of shows here. But yeah, that opening match from the 8th of December, the A Block final show, was kind of where all that stuff came from. But getting to the actual A Block final matches, the matches that mattered in the tournament, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens were taking on Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi. Now, Fale and Owens have been having some fun promos. They've been calling each other Docs, which is like Tongan for brother, and so Chase Owens now thinks he's Tongan, and he's been working on the Tongan Death Grip, and he was supposed to debut the Tongan Death Grip in the match, but they end up losing to Nagata and Nakanishi, who only had one win the entire tournament. Fale and Owens were basically mathematically eliminated. Even if they were to win this match, that would get them to 8 points, but Evil and Sonata, Goto and Yoshihashi had 8 points already going into the finals, and that was the main event. So one of those teams obviously is getting to 10 points. So all the teams mathematically eliminated, but Chase Owens had a chance to release the Tongan Death Grip onto Nagata or Nakanishi, and he just failed to.
Damn it, kid.
I fucked up.
Why didn't you? You had the secret weapon. What happened?
You told me not to use it.
God damn it.
You said don't show people the secret weapon. That's for another time. Oh, my back.
That's okay, my Tongan brother. You know why? You know why?
Why, Docs?
Docs. It's always too sweet.
Hey.
Now they're pointing at the reporter off to the side.
Yeah.
Fuck off, you fucking Nerd. Nerd.
So that's kind of what they've been doing too. We talked about this on last week's show. They offer the too sweet to the reporter off to the side, and just as they lean in to do it, he fucking calls him a nerd. And so I like that, kind of stealing a line from Anderson and Gallows, bringing it back to the Bullet Club here. So while Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale were not expected, nobody thought that they were going to win any matches and go on a run, and they didn't. But they had entertaining matches because of these promos, because of their interaction with each other. So I ended up enjoying the Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens stuff of all things. So fun stuff from a little bit of everybody here. Again, going back to the A block final, Death Juice also mathematically eliminated, going on to take on Hangman Page and Yujiro Takahashi, Now, they had a chance. They had 8 points going into this. Had they won, they had the tiebreaker over Goto and Yoshihashi, I believe, but it didn't matter. Death Juice got the win. Death Juice got to 8 points. Juice was saying in a promo that he teamed with Tanahashi last year, and they only got 6 points. So a big showing for Death Juice, getting to 4 wins in the tournament. A good match here. I thought right around 3 stars. They win with the Kiss of Death, the shoulder breaker into the pulp friction on Yujiro. Hangman Page hit an impressive top rope stunner on Callahan at one point. But a fun little match there. Then finally, the A block final match to determine who would win the block. Evil and Sonata taking on Goto and Yoshihashi. Evil and Sonata getting the win with the Magic Killer over Goto here. 3 3/4 stars, I thought, for a big-time tag match in a big-time spot, just under a 4-star match. Like I said, a good match. Yoshihashi with some close near falls on Sonata late in the match. Sonata almost makes Yoshihashi pass out with the skull end. Evil ends up kicking out of the GYR. That's the finisher that Goto and Yoshihashi have been using throughout the tournament. And the announcers go nuts. And I love this this clip here.
GYR 炸裂サードが抑え込んだカウントはどうだ2つで返した決まらない決まらない決まらない GYR が
So they hit the GYR. Evil kicks out of it. The announcer freaks out. Everything! Because, of course, Evil's line is
Everything is evil.
So when that announcer popped like that with just everything when he kicks out of their finisher, I just thought that was great. It was hilarious. So a lot of fun from the A block there. Now going on to the B block.
B block.
Finlay and Kitamura, David Finlay, that is, teaming up with Kitamura versus Togi Makabe and Hinare. This was the 0 points versus 0 points matchup, and everybody was wondering, is Kitamura going to finally get that big win here? Is Hinare going to get an interesting win here? And it was exactly what you would expect from basic New Japan booking. Makabe got the win over Kitamura with the King Kong knee drop. So it was the most senior member getting the win over the most junior member of the other team. So your basic booking, but fun nonetheless. Best Friends with 8 points taking on the Killer Elite Squad, also with 8 points. Killer Elite Squad get the win with the Killer Bomb there, getting up to 10 points. Then War Machine versus Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin. All of those teams also with 8 points. So tiebreakers coming into effect here. War Machine got the win. And actually, since KES won the previous match just before this, Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin were mathematically eliminated going into this match. So even if they had won and gotten to 10 points, it wouldn't have mattered because KES had the tiebreaker over them. Then the final match, Gorillas of Destiny versus Ishii and Yano. All Gorillas have to do is win, and they are in. They have the tiebreakers over War Machine and the Killer Elite Squad. Defeated both of them in 2-on-2 tag matches in the tournament, and that is exactly what happened. They won and made it to the finals, as many of you, most of us, are aware of. So so the finals for the tournament: Gorillas of Destiny versus Evil and Sonata. So we'll talk about that match in just a minute. I wanted to touch on with the stuff that happened on the undercard here for the finals. Opening match was just a big 10-man match. Not a ton going on there. I did want to mention, though, I like that they're calling this the veterans, the Tenzan, Kojimas, Nagata, Nakanishis, Jushin Thunder Ligers. They are referring to them in promos and on commentary as the third generation. I really like that, and it's in fact true. They're like the third generation of superstars in New Japan. But I like that moniker, so I just wanted to mention that. Elgin and Cobb teamed up with War Machine again versus the Bullet Club guys, Yujiro, Owens, Leo Tonga this time, and Hangman Page instead of Tama Tonga in there, because Tama Tonga had a very special singles match later, which was kind of odd but interesting in the same way. Still not sure why they did the singles match, but War Machine and Elgin and Cobb got the win here. War Machine with Fallout over Leo Tonga. Very good match post hot tag, a lot of action. Cobb looked really good in the match. Chase teased using the Tongan death grip, but didn't quite get it off. And then after the match, or somewhere in there, I at least appreciated Don Callis alluding to the idea that Cobb and Elgin were not seeing eye to eye at some points in the tournament. But they had their promo after this match signified that they were at least kayfabe on a unified front. So they didn't do like a big breakup angle or anything. Of course, they wanted to save the big dramatic angles for the Kenny Omega stuff there. Bad Luck Fale versus Bushi in a very special and odd singles match out of nowhere. A giant super heavyweight versus a junior heavyweight. Bad Luck Fale wins via DQ. He beats the shit out of Bushi all over the place, but then Bushi hits the mist, which the referee did not DQ right away. He did it right in front of the referee, but then since the referee didn't DQ him for that, Bushi had to just kick him in the nuts, and then that was when the referee finally rang the bell and disqualified Bushi, giving the win to Bad Luck Fale. After that, Bushi hits the MX on Bad Luck Fale, and then he goes in the back, Bushi does, and demands being included into the four-way. He wants to make it a five-way for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, Bushi comes into play later on with that mist. We'll get to that in a moment. Best Friends versus Death Juice, an A block versus B block matchup here. Best Friends get the win with Strong Zero. Not a big surprise here with Sami Callihan, this being his first tour of New Japan, but a fun, good match between those two. And I really enjoyed Juice's promo after this match.
Big loss, feels like shit, tastes like shit. But it's good, I like the taste of shit. You know why I like the taste of shit? I'm about to go home to Chicago tomorrow. I'm going to sit with the taste of shit in my mouth for 3 weeks. Maybe I'm not even a part of the Tokyo Dome, I don't know, but if I am, that taste of shit, that's what's gonna wake me up every morning and get my ass in the gym. That's gonna make sure I don't eat any bullshit and drink too much beer. I'm gonna come into the Tokyo Dome wrestling or not in the best shape of my life.
So yeah, I just like that message though of positive. Having eaten a loss last day of the tournament's gonna keep me motivated to stay in shape. But I like a good sell of a loss, and that'll come into play, of course, a little bit later. We heard Suzuki Gun's music playing in the background. Suzuki, El Desperado, and the Killer Elite Squad took on Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, and Yoshihashi. So Chaos versus Suzuki Gun. Goto gets the win over El Desperado with a sleeper and the GTR, and he says he will shave his head if he can't beat Suzuki at the Tokyo Dome. So not official yet, but Goto continuing to challenge Suzuki. Suzuki's not even acknowledging Goto's name at this point. So continuing on the drama there. Then Kota Ibushi teamed up with Kushida. Nice to see those guys back in Japan versus Cody and Marty Scurll. So 4 guys here all together that have not been on the World Tag League Tour come back and make an appearance here in this match. Cody with the crossroads hits the crossroads on Kota Ibushi on the stage, and then Scurll throws powder into Kushida's eyes that leads to them getting the win. Obviously with the shenanigans and skullduggery behind the referee's back there, and the heels getting the win. After the match in the press conference, Cody talked some ish about Ibushi.
When you stand in the ring with somebody like Kota Ibushi, who's essentially the Brutus Beefcake to Kenny Omega's Hulk Hogan, right? Essentially, he's a sidekick, whereas we are the show, and Wrestle Kingdom is the literal definition of the rub. Kota Ibushi gets the rub being in the ring with me.
So, more delusional heel stuff from Cody here. Funny because I think somebody could make a comeback, possibly Omega, possibly even Kota Ibushi, that Cody is the Brutus Beefcake to Kenny Omega. Although that might be a bit far, because I think both of them are much smarter than Brutus Beefcake probably ever was when it comes to pretty much everything in the professional wrestling realm. Then the big match everybody's talking about, the Elite taking on Rocky Romero and Roppongi 3K. The one-winged angel on Romero gets the Elite the win. But then the story, of course, is after the match. Jericho, he gets the big video on the screen distracting Omega and attacks Jericho, makes him bleed with hits him in the head with the belt. Don Callis gets in the ring and tries to protect Kenny Omega, and he gets beaten up by Jericho, ends up getting stretchered out. Again, where the fuck were the Young Bucks? They were in the match with him. I don't recall there being some big crazy angle to get the Young Bucks murdered and out of the way for 10 minutes where Jericho beat up not only Kenny Omega but poor Don Callis. So this is my only complaint about this. It was a great angle. The press conference the next day was great. Like I said, but I just needed an excuse of where the Young Bucks were. Something was amiss there, and we didn't get anything in we haven't seen anything from the Young Bucks as far as the post-match press conference promo yet, and we haven't seen anything from them. At least I haven't, not on the YouTube page of the Wrestle Kingdom press conference. The only thing I've seen is what they have posted, and that was basically the Kenny Omega response to Chris Jericho.
You reminded me yesterday, Chris Jericho, that at its core, professional wrestling is a fight. This isn't going to be WWE versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is going to be a fight. Every time that I have won a match that meant something, it has always been man-to-man, fair and square, with all of the cards on the line. You attacking me from behind while distracting me with the video, well, that's something you'd really see on an episode of Monday Night Raw, isn't it? And now, going into this match, if I go into it with any measure of respect for you, with respect for your career, with respect for your history in this country, I'm going to lose. You've already taken advantage of my kindness. You've already taken advantage of my stupidity. I won't make that mistake again, and I'm not going to make the mistake of respecting you in this match when it has already become a fight. It's already too late. We've already crossed the line. Do I respect your career? Yes. Do I respect your band? Oh yeah, I respect your band. Do I respect all of your side projects, all of the money you've made? Sure, why not?
Sure,
but
why
Chris, I don't respect you as a human being come the Tokyo Dome. When I see you in that ring, I'm going to treat you like the piece of shit that you are.
So yeah, good harsh words from Kenny Omega. You know, he talked about how, you know, he was looking forward to the competition, the wrestling match, and now it's not about the wrestling and putting on a good show. It's about having a fight, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you because fuck you. And I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to turn my back on you anymore. I'm going to attack you from behind. Things are going to get ugly, things like that. Of course, Jericho comes out to do his press conference. Kenny Omega attacks him. They have the big pull apart there in the press conference area. Very dramatic, very, very, very good. Fucking Jericho just being a delusional heel in the whole situation. Very interesting, very fun stuff. So looking forward to the next couple of weeks as we continue to build up to the Tokyo Dome. Should be very, very good. Back to the World Tag League Finals here. Naito and Hiromu Takahashi took on Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. This was a very fun tag match. Very good previews to the two matches involved here. Of course, Tetsuya Naito and Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title, and Hiromu Takahashi and Will Ospreay in the four-way with Marty Scurll and Kushida. So good previews for those matchups in this match. We got a lot of time between Naito and Okada as well as Hiromu and Ospreay. It was Naito and Hiromu getting the win. Hiromu getting the time bomb over Ospreay, so getting a clean win there over Ospreay from Hiromu. After the match, Okada attacks Naito, counters the Destino with his Cobra Clutch, his new Cobra Clutch move that he's been doing very recently, and the crowd is booing Okada. So very cool stuff there with Okada using the Cobra Clutch and getting the ire of the fans in New Japan. Finally, the big main event, the Gorillas of Destiny versus Evil and Sonata. Evil and Sonata winning the whole thing, going to the Tokyo Dome versus the Killer Elite Squad. So far, as of this recording, I believe it's only a 2-on-2 regular tag match, but all of that could change. There's a lot of time, a lot of other teams with arguments to being added to the match, but I hope it stays 2-on-2. Evil wins with the STO. Sonata gets his Paradise Lock spot early in the match. One of the Gorillas of Destiny attempt to do a Paradise Lock spot, and it doesn't really work. Tama Tonga pulls the referee into a charging Sonata. Tonga Loa attacks with a chair. Bushi comes out. This is why he hit the mist earlier in the night. He missed both the Gorillas of Destiny. Bad Luck Fale comes out, chases him out of there. He hits the grenade on Evil. That's his big finisher. Then he chases Bushi out of there. Evil kicks out of Guerrilla Warfare, one of their finishers, the Gorillas of Destiny, that is. Tama Tonga counters the Magic Killer into a stun gun. Then Evil and Sonata hit the Magic Killer through a table on the floor, and then Evil getting the win with the STO, like I said. All right, let's preview Final Battle Ring of Honor this weekend. Main event, Cody Rhodes versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor World Championship. A lot of people thinking it's a given that Cody is walking in the Tokyo Dome facing Kota Ibushi, putting the Ring of Honor title on the line. I think it's a possibility, but the way Dalton Castle cut his promo on this week's TV, it just felt like he needs to win here. I don't think he will. I think Cody will get the win, but that'll leave Dalton Castle kind of in an odd spot. Personally, I don't feel like Dalton Castle is world champion material. Here's the thing, though, also is like, I'm not a fan of Cody Rhodes as the world champion because he's such a great heel right now. He makes me not want him to be champion. But I think they're telling a greater story here with the Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club. The Flip Gordon thing is coming into play more and more now on being the elite, where the Young Bucks are on the side of Flip Gordon. But of course, Flip Gordon has been Cody's scapegoat for Cody trying to poison or oust or get rid of Kenny Omega on several occasions. So with all of that going on, there's a lot of moving parts here, is basically what I'm saying. It'll be interesting because the Young Bucks are taking on, well, the Hung Bucks, Young Bucks and Hangman Page are taking on Flip Gordon, Dragon Lee, and Titan for the Ring of Honor 6-man championship. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays in to that match. Since I brought that match up, I'm thinking the Hung Bucks retain the championships here. Certainly they could put them on with Flip Gordon, Dragon Lee, and Titan, but with those guys kind of going back and forth from CMLL, I think it would be strange to put the titles on that particular matchup, that particular team, and with the idea that Flip Gordon could possibly join the Bullet Club at some point. That they've been teasing that in being the elite. Certainly the Young Bucks in favor of that, kayfabe-wise, on being the elite. But I think I like the idea, too, of building guys up, but not necessarily putting them in the Bullet Club because the Bullet Club needs adversaries. So they've done a good job with Flip Gordon in there. So I think the Hung Bucks retained the 6-man titles there. TV title match, Kenny King versus Punishment Martinez versus Silas Young versus Shane Taylor. Kenny King successfully defended the TV title this week versus Caprice Coleman on TV. No big surprise there. Boy, I don't really know which way to go on this one. So I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Silas Young just because I'm a big fan of what he's been doing the last couple of years. Great heel. Lots of fun to watch. They've been pushing Punishment Martinez the whole year. I could see them putting it on them. As a matter of fact, if I'm going with my mind, I think they're either go with Punishment here or keep it on Kenny King, trying to continue to ride that Bachelorette wave for some reason. Shane Taylor, they've been doing a kind of a, what is it called? Like a muscle gimmick with him. In other words, people are paying him off to be their muscle, to be their security or whatever. But still, I don't see him in that. I don't see him in a title spot anytime soon. Just doesn't feel right. The Best Friends versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the Tag Team Championships. I think the Best Friends could use a title run here. However, the Motor City Machine Guns did just win those titles not that long ago. But the Best Friends had a really nice showing at the New Japan World Tag League, so they're just coming off of that after a nice hot run there. They didn't stand out as great in-ring performers there, but they really stood out as, fun promos and fun on that level. But the Motor City Machine Guns are, after winning the tag titles from the Young Bucks and kind of having that moment of respect after winning those titles, I think they could probably keep those for quite a while. I'm going to say Motor City Machine Guns retain here. Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll in a grudge match. Marty Scurll wants the heel Jay Lethal to come out. He wants Jay Lethal to he wants the Jay Lethal that used to cause a spot of bother. So it'll be interesting to see if Scurll can bring out the villainous side of Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal almost needs something different right now. He's been kind of out of the title picture now for a while. It feels like it probably about a year or so. Been doing other things. It's time to get him back into the title picture, especially with Cody being there. Possibly, of course, Dalton Castle going back. I could see Jay Lethal maybe making that heel turn that Marty Scurll so richly wants from Jay Lethal. War Machine versus Addiction in another grudge match. They did a good job building this up too, because the Addiction were upset at the fans for turning on them, so they decided anything that the fans like, they are going to ruin. And of course, War Machine got upset when their tag title chance got ruined by the Addiction, so that's what we have here. War Machine attacked Addiction a couple of weeks ago and lawn darted Frankie Kazarian into the front row, injuring a fan in the storyline. And so Ray Rowe was serving a 30-day suspension, and then this week the Addiction called out Ring of Honor management. They wanted them to fire both of War Machine, get rid of them all because of those actions against a fan. And of course, it was the Addiction that incited all of this violence from War Machine, with them, interfering in matches and ruining things. You upset the angry War Machine, and that was what caused War Machine to throw them around into fans and whatnot. The Addiction were looking for War Machine to be fired. That, of course, did not happen. Since Ray Rowe was suspended, it was Hanson who came out and attacked the Addiction. The Addiction ended up getting the upper hand, taping him to the middle rope with some electrical tape. They attack him some more, but then security come out. They cut him free. Big brawl ensues. But yeah, that should be a good match. I'm looking forward to that one. Prediction, yeah, War Machine gets the win. They're finally getting finally giving Addiction their comeuppance. Matt Taven versus Will Ospreay. Not a lot of heat on this match either. Matt Taven did pick up a victory on Ring of Honor TV versus Jay Lethal with the most devastating move in professional wrestling, a roll-up after some interference, some distractions from Marty Scurll in their singles match. So Matt Taven on a roll with the hot roll-up finish going into this match. This match at Final Battle. I think Will Ospreay will get the win there. He better going into the Tokyo Dome with a four-way match coming up for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, having just lost the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. I could see certainly Marty Scurll getting involved here in this match, angle-wise, going into that match at the Tokyo Dome too. So we'll look for that. Finally, the Briscoes will be taking on Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer in a New York City street fight. They finally did the angle on this week's Ring of Honor TV where they officially set up that match. Very good. They've done a very good building up to that. So the Briscoes got what they wanted. They're going to get one more fight from Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. This week on Ring of Honor TV, they called them out. They called them cowards. They called them bitches, and that got beeped out. Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer come out like they're going to fight them, but security separates them. Joe Koff is there. He's telling them, no, we're not going to do this. He's holding them back. Jay Briscoe is like, look, I never thought I'd see the Bully Ray be held back by a short old man. And then Joe Koff gets in the ring and gets in Bully Ray's face and says, be careful what you wish for, because now it's going to be a hardcore, anything goes, New York City street fight at Final Battle. This one's kind of hard to predict because it's probably going to be Bully Ray's retirement match, and the professional wrestling thing to do is put over the next guy on your way out. So that instinct in me says the Briscoes are winning, but the Briscoes are veterans here too, and they've been in the business for a long time, so I could really see it going either way, but I'm going to predict the Briscoes getting the win here and solidifying their heel turn, and they can move on and keep going in these tag team ranks as heels. So that should be a fun new side of the Briscoes going forward. Let's wrap up the show with the Kojima tweet. Now it's time for
The Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Follow Kojima on Twitter at cozy_lariat. Good morning. I was able to fight yesterday without injuring. That's not commonplace. It is happy to be able to fight. Thank you. So follow me on Twitter at Tommy Striker, spell Striker with the Y. Follow this show at Strong Honor. Check out my other podcast, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Myself, Joe, and Taco are talking WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, sometimes Lucha Underground, whatever else is on. Sometimes we talk Ring of Honor and New Japan on there as well. I'm sure we will be talking a little bit of that this week over there on Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. That's going to do it for me again this week. I'm Tommy Striker. Bye.
One powerful motherfucker!
Professional wrestling is a fight.
Doing the math! I don't know! Fuck Michael Elgin! Everything is evil.
Hasta jueves. Adios.